We are going to get started today. Emilio's already up working today. We got Dan the Man Fazio in the audience. Simon, Leary. Good to see you all. Blessed to have another day, huh? Who's locking stuff up? Anybody lock up a deal over the weekend? Mr. Fazio, how are you doing, sir? John Johnson moving federal. Dan's moving so federal he hasn't even responded with his microphone.
What's going on?
What's up, Mr. Federal? We got
Uh,
the new studs.
where's Bob at this morning?
Bob, he's gonna pop in here when he gets a chance. He says something came up, so we're gonna get the stage started.
John dyed his hair, got some ear piercings.
New
He's
year,
gonna
new
get a
me.
tattoo. He's gonna get a tattoo.
We get a couple tattoos, man. We get tatted up. We get
He
tatted
took
up.
integrating into a new culture to a whole new level.
Man, I can't wait till I run for president and you all elect me to be your representative. It's gonna be incredible.
You're running for president in what country?
In the United States of America when I make my
I
return.
don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, folks. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, you can rest assured, Daniel. You can rest assured.
I'm not sure about that one.
I'm gonna come
I
back
might
and
have to.
I'm gonna let my campaign know. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a man of the world. I'm the best candidate to lead this nation in the direction that I think we should go in, and I'll have policies that everybody will vote for. It's gonna be fantastic. I can't wait. But I got a lot of growing to do, a lot of improvement, and just a lot of work to do until I'm 35. So that's not even a question right now. Dan's closer to presidency than me.
Wait, no one's running for president, guys. Nobody's running. Matt Riley might be running for president. I don't know.
Shit, I
He
vote for
might be
Matt.
running for president.
I vote for
Matt
Matt.
Riley.
He can play the part. I can see Matt being president.
He'd pass new legislation on golf carts.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you see that? Did you see that little golf cart stroll he was having yesterday,
No,
last
where was
night
it?
in the neighborhood?
Where'd he post it?
He was strolling. It's in Facebook. He had a little golf cart out. They were looking at all the Christmas lights.
Matt's only on
Living real
Facebook.
dom- living living real domesticated, Mr. Riley, living real domesticated.
Got him. I don't really check Facebook all too much, to tell you the truth. I'm more on Instagram. But there it is. The Windy City agent. Let's
And
take a
there
Yo,
look.
you
it
want to see
is.
something cool? No? Well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Wow. Wow, you put the effort in the TikTok. I see you. All right, Matt. Yeah, that on. He was ready to post that one, huh?
No, nobody can do it like me.
He was
Super
ready.
house plate with the kick cuisine. I was the black top king. 360s in my green machine.
You hear this music on this track? I feel like it's literally
I heard
Matt.
music. I didn't hear the music. No, no, no.
He's got music on there. I
Oh,
was
he's got
looking
music on
at.
the track too.
He's got music on the track. You know it's real when he has a 90-degree angle with transitions and background music synced with the transition. Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody. As we all get ready to start the day, I want to ask everybody, how's everybody's business doing? Where's everybody at? Are you all locking up deals consistently? Do you feel confident in your marketing? I think that's the number one thing, guys. If you have
I
good
want to talk about that.
marketing,
I want to talk about that, John. I want to talk about that because So today at 1 o'clock, I decided today at 1 o'clock I want to do a master class in the Discord. Um, because we have a lot of people that are either not on our platform, they're on someone else's platform, or they're on our platform, or they're doing some type of, or maybe not doing any type of lead management, right? And they're like really confused. I think a lot of people are very confused how to either operate a lead management platform and get the most out of it. Because the biggest thing that I see too is the people that switch over to our platform, they're like highly confused or like, really frustrated from somebody else's platform. So I want to do a thing today at 1 o'clock. I've kind of done this before, but I wanted today at 1 o'clock. I want to go over how to actually use an actual lead conversion platform to its full extent, how to call multiple leads, how to manage texting multiple leads at once, how to do multiple follow up, how to do, automated follow up. Um, and really how to get the most out of a lead conversion platform. So, I think it's just a lot of people. I really had a system when I was running everything myself. I had a really efficient system when I was doing it all on my own in terms of wholesaling. And that I see a lot of people either getting confused on or missing one. And I think a lot of people have, had a lot of people, they reach out to our support line on a daily basis for help inside of our platform that I think are things that could be really simply that are really simple that we could fix easily. So I want to, I just want to make sure that that everybody is using everything correctly, getting the most out of everything. I want to talk about some tools that we're using inside of our company right now that you guys can use as well, that everybody can have access to, and just go over some really basic stuff because I think lead management, lead conversion, especially like lead platforms, people can overthink it. They can overthink the process. So I think also too, no, a lot of people aren't using them in conjunction of like how to understand how to separate marketing and really the difference between when you're marketing for leads versus like actually like acquiring deals.
I see Dante's in the chat. He's talking about a lot of people are sending him daisy chains and on market stuff. That's something I think we could talk about too. Um, Personally, I don't want to touch a deal that's a FISBO. If it's already on the market, like if you bring a lead to me, like the first thing I want to do is I want to novate that. And if it's already on the market, there's not really too much I can do because if it's not a creative deal and it's a cash deal and you're asking for me to market this property above what it's already listed for on the open market or at the listing price or close to the listing price, you just kind of look silly. And I think it's a waste of time. John says we need a vetted marketplace again. Only closers, yeah. We're working on that. I was writing up some. I did pull up the Chat GPT, getting some inspiration for the website and making some progress. Good morning, Bob.
Mr. Sadai, are you having technical issues? We finally built out a new website for all of our platforms now. I finally have a website for everything for everybody. They always ask me like, where can I go to find more information about this or that? We actually just built out a new website, finished it Saturday. Built out a new
Congratulations.
website. Yeah, I think it's one of the best websites I've ever built. Actually, I think it's definitely up there.
Your
It's
websites
definitely
are
up
always
there.
improving, Dan.
Yeah, man, this one's top notch. This one's some of my best work yet. Also, I want to talk about that today too at 1 o'clock. I want to talk about because I think a lot of people are confused about A2P. We help a lot of people get through A2P verification, even people who aren't on our platform. Um, does everybody know what A2P is and exactly what that means? That means let's stop Emilio from texting people.
Yeah,
Malik
literally.
says have to register 10-digit phone numbers. Correct. So, yeah, so Malik's right. It is the registering platform to register 10-digit local phone numbers. Oh man, John's calling me out. All right,
Dan,
all right,
I
all
mean,
right, all
Dan,
right.
Dan called me out earlier, so no. Got the prop stream merch today, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not
All
already
right, all
signed
right,
up,
all right.
make sure you go and sign up for prop stream using the community link. You can support the community and get a trial of prop stream. I'll drop the link.
We're loading it. We're loading it. Give us some time. All right, there we
Oh,
are. Here
serious
we are.
business when Dan has the glasses on, ladies and
There
gentlemen.
we are.
Serious
We got the
business
glasses
now.
on, man. We got the glasses on.
Tap in,
No,
tap in.
so yeah, so A2P is basically is action or agreement to participate. So what is it? It's just on the top button on the, yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern. Yes, yes. Um, so A2P is action or agreement to participate. So if you have a VoIP or an internet phone service, so when you buy your phone from AT&T, like um, or Verizon or T-Mobile, those numbers automatically are picked up and verified by the all the major carriers. So the reason that, for instance, let's say when you buy an internet phone, a lot of people say like, how can I get past using coming up as spam risk? How can I not come up as spam risk? We get a lot of those questions for calling, as well as a lot of people say like, how can I get my text message? So if you guys notice, if you guys have a 10 DLC phone, you guys notice if you send a text message to people, you'll notice that it doesn't come up in separate digits as if a regular phone number would show up on somebody's phone. It actually comes up just all one number. So the reason that they show up like that on text message, as well as is it a lot of carriers, your numbers are going to come through as spam risk. The reason that's kind of, I've learned over time now that that's unavoidable, is basically because of the fact that like major carriers have a process where, they essentially kind of run a, they say it's really to protect consumers, but I personally believe that major carriers just kind of run a monopoly on the business. Um, and the thing is that if you're using a voice over internet phone, which is a VoIP, meaning that you go through, this is Google Voice, this is Lead Connector, Twilio, um, any conversation provider that is not AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, Cricket Wireless, Sprint. If your phone number is not coming from any of those carriers, then therefore it is going to be filtered through the system as an unrecognized entity. Now, it's not always going to get blocked or put through a spam risk, but more than likely it's going to be a higher percentage chance, because all the major carriers have a code inside of their phones, right? So when the signal gets outputted from your phone into someone else's phone, it has picked up a certain code that shows that it's from another major carrier. So the reason that your phone number is coming in as spam risk is because it's not recognized as coming in from a major carrier or a conversation provider. So that, for one, is pretty much unavoidable. We get a lot of people asking, how can I not show up as spam risk? First of all, unavoidable. You're just, that's hit or miss. 8 out of 10 times you're going to show up as spam risk. The only way to do that is to call people through your cell phone What about phone numbers blocking calls from coming in general? So that also does happen, but the way to avoid that is you have to, again, the way to avoid that is going to be getting A2P approved. So if A2P is basically the board of federal, like they use GDPC compliancy or GDC compliancy or whatever it is, to basically they're kind of like the in between that, which is essentially the consumer protection agency, and then also basically the businesses on the other end. Okay. um A2P is the agreement that you can register your phone number, and you can also fill out an application saying what your business usage is, meaning why do you need this phone number and what will this phone number be used for. So as you put in that information, they're also going to ask you, how do you get people's numbers? How are they opting in to you reaching out to them? So this is a very vital piece of information that they need, because technically, guys, cold outreach either through SMS or cold calling technically goes against TCPA legislation. So technically, cold outreach 100% with no opt-in, with nothing out there, is technically in a very gray area of illegal activity, whether they're on the 10DLC list or not, whether they're a litigator or not. um, if you reach out to someone without their permission from a phone number that is not from a major carrier, and you're doing it for a business perspective, then that is technically in a gray area of illegal activity, no matter how you do it. But obviously, major companies are still doing it, right? This is not. John, are you talking to us? Oh, Bob is complete.
Bob was clueless. Now he's
Oh,
has a
there he
clue.
is. There he is. There he is. There he is. Thank
Sorry about
God.
that, guys. I couldn't hear a word, and I was like,
Wow.
"This is what topic I want to talk about." Sorry,
So
didn't mean to
you're
interrupt.
into A2P?
What's that?
You want to talk about A2P?
I wanted to get involved in it. I wanted to hear, first of all, what you had to say. The man
Yeah.
himself talking about it.
So we're talking about right now, we're just talking about like why numbers are getting blocked, and then what actually is A2P and why it's important.
Yeah.
So basically what I was saying is that technically cold outreach in any form or sorts, if you're soliciting for business from someone 100% cold, technically falls in a gray area of illegal activity, no matter how you're doing it, SMS or cold calling. If you're calling someone to get their business without their information of opting in, to start off with, um, then that's essentially why it's in a gray area of illegal activity. So where you have A2P. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, Dante, because you're making money. Their business. It's a business. Real estate is probably the worst looked at business by TCPA. Everybody they hate the real estate market because it's in a very gray area. This is why I tell people all the time: if you're not getting into PPC, if you're not getting into running ads, if you're not getting into inbound marketing, um, you're missing out on a lot of leads.
So many leads,
Because
guys. So many leads. It's a different game. People are reaching out
so
to me
many leads.
constantly all day. Notifications, notifications, notifications. People
And
want to
it's not even
sell.
about that they're coming to you, but the restrictions on cold calling and SMS are only going to get worse. And if you notice that, if you look at all the major corporations, like, has Walmart ever cold called anybody in this audience? Has Amazon ever cold called anybody in this audience? Has Target ever cold called anybody in this audience? Has Best Buy ever called you? You look at all the major consumer industries, you go to them, they don't go to you. So the only people that are going out and doing cold calling still are small to medium sized businesses. And a lot of times it's because they don't have the advertising budget and things like that to generate like the major commercials to compete against, these major corporations.
So let's talk about that, Dan.
Yeah.
That's a huge point. How much does someone actually really need to be able to do pay per click or any other type of other marketing that you're talking about right now?
So Google SEO and pay-per-click advertising on Google, you need to spend a minimum of anywhere from you need to be able to spend a minimum anywhere of 7 to 10 grand a month, in my opinion, to get the
Okay,
most out of it.
right, but that's not feasible for a lot of people,
Right,
right?
right, exactly. If we're talking
So what?
Facebook ads, if we're talking
Mhm.
Facebook ads, then and YouTube ads, then you can actually get as low as running around $35 to $50 a day, depending on how wide you go and spread. I would say $50 a day would be my minimum. And with that, you're getting maybe one lead a day, maybe, if you did everything perfect
So $50 a day, are you running it 30 days or 22 days? How are you running it?
every day.
Weekend, every day.
Yeah.
So 1,500 bucks a month.
Yeah.
And that's not
Minimum.
including, that's just your ad spend, right?
Correct.
That's not your maintenance or managers who are going to be running it, management fees and all the other stuff.
Correct. Yeah.
So if I'm going to enter into this business right now and I say, you know what, I have some money and I want to put it into this business and I want to go the Facebook marketing route, what should I count on putting aside on a monthly basis for this business
Probably a
to be able
minimum of
to be
around
able yeah to be able to close at least 1 to 2 deals a month?
probably around probably around $3,000, $3,000 a month, I would say, at minimum.
So,
Yeah.
so at
Hmm.
$3,000 a month, I can confidently count on getting 1 to 2 deals a month.
I think one deal a month at that rate is
1 deal a
pretty
month.
is pretty is pretty like pretty solidified. If you're really good at closing and your exit strategies, then John's got a lot of tools in his belt now.
Mhm.
That's his. Everybody wants to know how John's still good locking up deals, is because John's got all the tools in his belt. Same thing with Bob. These guys have multiple tools in their belt. All of our clients right now that are closing multiple deals a month have multiple tools and exit strategies.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
don't
All
have
of
any
which we did
clients right
not,
now.
all of which we did not acquire overnight, and we started with cold calling and then SMS and building and building and building. The stuff doesn't just happen overnight. This is a process.
All of our clients actually who are just doing cash aren't making any money. They're not made. They haven't closed the deal probably since a lot of them since September. So
Say
that
that
just
one more
shows
time.
you
I'm
right
sorry.
there. If you're only doing cash deals,
Uh-huh.
all of our clients who are only doing cash as exit strategies,
Uh-huh.
cash wholesaling, they haven't. Most of them haven't closed a deal since September.
Ooh, wee. No bueno.
So that just shows you the difference between the people that have changed their exit strategies, um, and the people that kind of are still stuck.
Yeah. So what's the recommendation from the gurus?
For exit strategies,
Well, to get
you got to know how to do
You'd have
creative, and
to
you got to
buy
know how to
our.
do
You have to buy our
iterations.
course. You have to buy our course. We won't
Where's your
disclose.
course? Where's your course? You better have a course before you start saying buy our course.
No, it's not for sale. That's what it is. It's not for sale.
Pre-sale? Pre-sale? Not for
buy our
sale.
course, but it's not
Buy
for
our
sale.
course,
All
but it's
right.
not for sale.
Yeah,
Get on the
Yeah.
waiting list.
yeah. Get on the waiting list.
See, I gave him a new idea there.
Like that.
No, like the thing is like though, but when we're going back to like just PPC and inbound leads, um, we getting off topic. Um, when we're going back from pay per click and inbound leads, the whole thing of how we got it here is the A2P conversation. And really A2P is basically the application that basically you fill out the information for the TCPA and GDC compliancy, which is basically a consumer protection agency for business to consumer marketing. And this essentially has to be the, um, the way that you actually like reach your customers. They have to go through a certain level of compliancy, and you have to actually fill out the application with the information that they're requesting. And one of those pieces of information of how I was going to backtrack here is you have to have some type of way that the customer is basically opting in to your marketing campaign. And they have to do that on their own accord. So to do that, they essentially want your customers to go to a website, and then they want that website to have the ability and of terms and conditions, as well as a full action to participate, meaning that they have to check a box. So that's where you get your A2P. There is it's the action to participate in a marketing funnel. That's essentially what that means. But you have to have those pieces. Those are the most things like A2P as the regulation body wants to know, why are you reaching out to these people? What are some examples of messages that you're sending to these people, or what are some examples of some calls, as well as how are they opting into this campaign to getting these messages and receiving calls from your company.
So
And
that, yeah, that's a
go ahead.
great point that you bring up. My question to them is, do they have the same laws for mailers, for Penny Saver or any other value pack, any other company that advertises and markets to everybody, mass,
So
you know,
I don't think
they
mailers
don't.
actually, they don't have it's not regulated.
They don't. Yeah, they don't. But for whatever reason, text and cold calling has been picked by them, right? To
Yeah,
to
well,
try to
so we
govern.
we we technically spoke with an attorney. We spoke with an attorney this last week, because we wanted to really dive in, because now we're full into this business now. We're full into this business, and we really want to dive in for also being able to protect our clients as well. We want to make sure that our platform has the right things in place to protect our customers and our clients, because we're serious about lasting a long time in this business.
Hmm.
So essentially, we wanted to make sure that we are doing everything and we're putting all the right checks and balances in place to protect, our customers who are using our platform, and doing their marketing and doing their outbound reach to actually, make sure that they're doing everything correctly. And the reality is that, the attorney basically told us is that cold calling and SMS, whether you're using a dialer or whether you're hitting multiple, if you're hitting multiple hundreds or up to 1,000 people a day through a marketing campaign that they've never opted into manually, technically is illegal in a gray area.
Yeah.
So that's really where the tricky part comes in. And real estate is probably one of the worst looked at industries by the TCPA, because the fact that it's been one of the most like scam heavy industries, I guess, for in terms of people doing outbound marketing.
Well, it's
Um,
not necessarily that, as it is that the profit margins are so much larger than
Correct.
other types of businesses that,
Right.
I mean, you're dealing with the probably biggest asset in most people's lives, right? Their home. Okay.
Hmm.
And if you can quote unquote scam them out of their equity,
Hmm.
now you're just, you know, now they're coming after you.
Right.
So yeah, that's the reason. It's not that real estate is a bad business or industry. It's
Right.
not that real estate is horrible. It's just that because the profit margins are so enticing, you get a lot more people coming in, and many of them don't necessarily have bad intentions. It's just that they don't have the knowledge to do what they're supposed to do correctly,
And that's why I
and
think a
therefore,
platform like REI Rev is so important, is because those people can have a
no,
place
REI
to
Rev is
come.
not important. Come
No, no, I think it is so important. It's so key because they
on.
can come
Absolutely is.
here and they can learn what they need to do and they can learn how to do it correctly. And so that's why I think that this is truly an opportunity to revolutionize this industry, is to really, get people on the same page, at least give them the foundation that they need to go and do this business correctly, so that they don't take advantage of people unknowingly, or put people in situations unknowingly that they can't get themselves out of. Especially, I think, when it comes to creative finance, there's a lot of buzz around sub two. I've done one sub two, and it is just, I wouldn't consider scaling that business personally, just because of the amount of risk that I believe that the seller has to take.
If you do it right, you're decreasing. Again, we go back to knowledge, right?
Right.
We go back to knowledge.
And that's why
I'm
I think
so
it's so
sorry, guys.
important. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm afraid I have an appointment that I gotta hit right now, so I wish everybody a great day. See you guys later.
Thank you, Bob. But yeah, that's why I think it's so
So
important to have that knowledge, is so that you don't put yourself in situations that you can't get yourself out of, and you don't put other people in situations
correct.
that you can't get them out of, because those are not
Right.
good situations. But I think that there are ways to do this business correctly, especially, the sub two stuff is very gray. Very, very gray area. The sub two stuff, very gray, in my opinion, and you have to do it
Yeah.
correctly. You have to know what you're doing. And that's why it's important to work with people that have the experience of doing those types of transactions, because you can hear about this type of transaction and just try to get your feet wet and really put somebody in financial ruin. So be mindful. Like Bob said, we are working with, you know for the majority of the world, likely their most valuable asset, and they're trusting you with that. So you need to come correct, and you need to make sure that you're a professional and that you know what you're doing, and that you can also figure out what to do when things go south, because 9 times out of 10, things go south in this business. That's just the reality. You think you're going to get a $100,000 assignment, it gets cut last second. It's just the reality, it's the nature of this business, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the name of the game.
So Brandon Henderson said PPC may work for Amazon or other products, but when it comes to a complex service like wholesaling real estate, that will be completely different. You could generate lists via PPC, but those guys are not leads. Well, so I mean, Brandon, our entire business, our entire wholesaling business is ran off of, my team's entire wholesaling business now is ran off of Google ads, YouTube ads, and Facebook ads. That's how we get all of our leads. John is doing a lot of pay-per-click. Dante does a lot of PPC. Maybe we're confused by what your point is or what you're saying, or are you confused? Or
Hey Dan, hey John, what's up,
hey, what's
guys?
going on?
Good morning.
Good morning. Basically, my opinion over here is because you can collect a lot of data about people who would like to sell the property, but on the top of that, you need someone to requalify those guys because we are buying properties in wholesaling price, not in a regular price, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Correct.
So, when it comes to a comparison between Amazon and wholesaling, that won't be fair to give the PPC the same results on both sides. We have to make sure that those guys are planning to sell the property in a wholesaling price, and there will be a situation to sell the property
So
in that.
let me ask you a
Mhm.
question. Do
Yeah,
you
sure.
know who the top wholesaler in the nation is right now in terms of like revenue?
I'm sorry, what you said? The call
Do you know
breaking
who
a
the
little bit.
top wholesaler right now in the terms of revenue? Do you know who that is?
No, I don't know him
So
exactly, but
that's Nick Perry. That's Nick Perry, and
mm-hmm,
we buy houses now. That's his company.
mm-hmm.
And do you know what their only marketing stream is?
Only marketing streaming,
They
I
only have
believe
one
that
market. They
marketing
only have
should
one
be.
marketing stream. Do you know what it is?
I mean, if you allow me, I believe that the marketing should be through channels and funnels. So channels will be divided in more than one sector, and we do that ourselves as well.
So it's
But tell me, what's the only channel he's gonna be?
they only do pay per click.
Mm-hmm.
They only do
Okay.
pay per click. They close over $1 million in revenue a month.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
So I don't know. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what all the top wholesalers in the nation right now are
Yep.
only doing PPC. Most of them don't do mailers, they don't do cold calling, and they don't do SMS.
I don't give the PPC a low category or something, but I mean the cold calling will be essential for any deal over here. If you would like to gain profits in the wholesaling exactly because it's complicated a little bit than any other business, you have to call people, and as well you have to requalify those guys. And that's the main issue over here. If you go to the PPC, you can collect a list of people who will be just like giving you a brief information about their property. But when it comes to closing, you can't close that deal. In order to close it, people prefer to talk to a person. I mean, humans prefer to have a
Right,
conversation.
but you have to acquire that information. You have to acquire that. That's what we're talking about. You have to requalify any leads, though. If you get a cold call lead in from your cold calling team, or you get an SMS opt in from your SMS campaign, you still have to qualify that lead again by calling them. So no matter what, if you do mailers, right? If you do mailers and someone calls in from that mailer, you still have to qualify that lead. So
So
no matter
the question is, if I have the option to skip trace some properties, absentee properties or something like that, who will be ready to sell the property or even will be ready to have a conversation with a cold caller to qualify from the first time conversation. Why should I run a PPC and cost an additional cost, pay an additional cost for that, and then requalify them with the same person as a follow-up manager?
because the amount of people that you can reach is far greater and it's more specific, because you have to remember that they're coming to you because they already have the motivation that is coming in through the channel. So they're automatically going into Google because they have to see your ad. They already have to have some preconceived or some pre-qualified motivation to actually be able to fill out your form or call into your company or do whatever, right? So that when you're cold calling, right, you're going through a list where you're spending hours. You're not even right now. What you're basically saying is you don't take your time into consideration with worth a certain dollar amount. So for our company, like every minute that we spend doing anything is a certain dollar amount. And so what you have to remember is that the amount of time that you're spending cold calling, the amount of time that you're spending talking to people that just tell you to go fuck off and don't even want to sell their house, all of that is time. And I think, John Johnson knows better than anybody, time is money. So you might not be spending it out of your pocket to be able to do that time. So it might make sense in the very beginning when you don't have the money to spend. But when you actually have the money to spend, it makes more sense to get the time back,
Oh, dude.
because the amount of time that it takes to run a cold calling campaign or to actually qualify cold leads takes so much far longer
So
than
much
it
time.
does to actually qualify inbound pay-per-click leads.
And the thing
Otherwise,
is
the
about
top
cold
companies in
calling,
the nation wouldn't be doing it.
you can stay on the phone cold calling all damn day, hearing no
And
after
maybe
no
not get a
after
lead.
no. It maybe not get a lead. You might not even talk to
Maybe
somebody
not get
that
a lead.
wants to sell. And I've spent
Oh
hours,
my God.
thousands of hours on the phone with cold calling. That's how I got started. And I only got one
Guys,
deal.
it seems that you have a bad experience about cold calling. When it comes to a well-trained cold caller with the needed experience to handle the situation with the seller, he will give you at least 2 to 3 deals each and every day. I mean, leads,
Two to three
qualified leads. You
deals?
don't need to follow up on them. You have just to push the acquisition manager to finalize everything with that guy. So I
Yeah.
don't know. As you know, cold calling will be based on many factors, starting from the quality of the list, the dialing method, the script, and everything. And also, when it comes to a well-trained, as I said, cold caller, he will handle the situation with the seller and making sure that guy will be motivated or not. If he's not from the first minute, he will thank him and hang up. That's it. But on the top of that, the results, if the trainer, I mean, if the guy that who will call people is well trained and have the needed experience, he will get back with a qualified lead who will be ready to sell the property, and he will prepare that guy for the acquisition step, if that makes sense to you.
So why are
Yeah.
the top companies in the nation cold calling? And why are they doing PPC? Why are they not cold calling?
Okay, in that part, I have a little bit of vision because some people believe they are good in cold calling. However, in fact, they just following a script, and people don't prefer to talk to robots. They need someone to engage and interact with them during the conversation, not just giving, "Hello guys, I'm buying properties. Would you like to sell your property?" He will hang up immediately. Or even if he give him a time to talk, he won't give him the result that the guy is expecting to give all the
So
information and the condition
do
of
you,
the
do
property.
you run a cold calling agency or something?
Yes, I do.
Okay, there you
Yeah,
go. There, that
yeah,
makes a lot of sense then.
yeah.
So there's a
I'm
little bit
so
of
frank. Look.
insider trading. There's a little bit of insider trading going on here.
I have been over here like 5 months or something. I didn't take the mic ever. I'm just here like a student. I'm listening to the people over here. I don't share my visions to anyone. But for now, I have like a small point about cold calling, and I'm just trying to make a comparison between the PPC and cold calling.
No one's
Not
saying that
because
cold
I'm
calling
running
doesn't
that
work.
business, not because I'm running that business. I swear of that. Okay, John. So I just wanted to hear what makes the PPC better than cold calling. However, I can see when it
It's
comes
it's the conversion. It's the conversion rate. It's the amount of people that you can reach per day, and the amount of people that actually can actually come back into your platform. So you're trying to look overall at the amount of money that you're investing as well as time. So you have to remember that everything I understand that you're saying that you can have a cold calling agency, you can have a lot of these people calling thousands of leads, every single day, and that you might be able to get 1 to 2 leads out of them per day. But the whole entire thing is like, first of all, like we were talking in the very beginning, cold calling and outbound SMS is they're trying to shift the regulations to a certain point where eventually it's going to become almost 100% illegal. It's in a space right now where cold outreach for soliciting information for a customer base is already in a very gray area, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. So they're making the regulations harder, and eventually it's going to get to a place where it's not even really fully allowed. That's just my opinion. But that's kind of where the trajectory is sort of headed. So first of all, they want to move everybody over to PPC. So they want to move all the consumers over to ads and things like that. For whatever reason, I'm not saying I'm necessarily for that or against that. That's just the way that they're moving everybody to try to market, because they want you to have that opt-in method for someone to actually go to a website and actually, click a box and fill out their information and agree to actually, get called or get texted. The whole issue of what drives people crazy is the fact that they've never filled out anything, and they get called and texted nonstop from people just because their house goes onto a certain list or their property goes into a list. And that it causes a lot of distress for certain people. So you just have to remember, like, they're trying to eliminate that. So they want to move everybody over to the PPC route anyways. My whole point is PPC right now brings in the best ROI, if you actually know what you're doing. Because a lot of people too, just the same thing with cold calling. The same thing you're saying about cold calling is the same thing I can say about PPC. A lot of people don't know what they're doing, right? So there's a reason that a lot of people don't get great return on investment. But if you actually do know what you're doing and you're actually running an effective ad campaign, you're doing everything effectively, the ROI is better than anything else in terms of like lead generation that you're going to get.
I
And it's
agree with
just so
you
much
that.
faster.
Yep.
The cycle is so much faster. On a cold call lead, that lead might take 2 to 3 months of follow up before they're ever even ready to sell. A pay per click lead, if they're actually motivated, if they're actually qualified, they'll sign. We've had one call closes from pay per click several times. I can't tell you how many times I've done a one call close on an ad that just came in. So like, that's the difference between cold calling and PPC. And but PPC, I think that, I think over time, I think it's still cold calling is still an effective form of marketing. Obviously, I have a cold calling tool, right, that can call 10,000 people a day. So I mean, it's like, or 10,000 people in an hour. So I'm not against cold calling specifically, but cold calling itself is getting super 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 saturated. And it's just, your numbers are showing up as spam risk. A2P is making more regulations over and over and over again. So it's just like, that's the issues that we're seeing right now.
Oh, okay. So then in 2008, wholesaling as a business wasn't legal. And I
Correct.
believe that John remembered that as well. So we starting the business from scratch, taking our arms and making sure that business will be a successful business for each and every one that we work for. We believe that if the cold caller is speak in a nice way, in a professional way with the seller, he won't
Mhm.
come whatsoever. Plus, that guy, if we text him in a good manner and give him an introduction about the business that we are doing, he will keep that message with him. And once he decide to sell, he will give a call back. We respect the
Right.
value of PPC, and we don't want to give the cold calling a low category of the marketing because um, a long years ago, I mean many years ago, people preferred to cold calling others and making good stuff and that, right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, cold calling like a year ago, SMS 2 years ago was the best way to reach out to people.
Yeah, and that's
You
it.
know,
At the end of that, we are caring about results. I'm not giving a PPC a low category. I'm not giving cold calling a low category. All those channels will be essential for any well-educated wholesaler who would like to generate leads and give much results. But I believe that you have to divide your marketing campaign into channels and get that channels in order to take some funnels and making sure that guy will be qualified for the business, and there will be the best part, signing the contract, getting the lead to be a deal, and dispossession that deal in order to gain profit, if that will
right.
be okay.
Yeah, I mean, it all works, but you just have to make sure that you're adjusting to how the market is shifting. That's my whole entire point.
Yeah,
We're more than happy to help get people A2P approved. I'll be back. I'll be talking about this more at 1 o'clock. So at 45 minutes, I'll be back talking more about lead conversion platforms, A2P, all that stuff. But for now, right now, I gotta go. I gotta jump into another call. I gotta help a client figure some stuff out with their
yeah.
platform. Good talking to you guys. I will see you guys back here in 45 minutes.
Uh, Thank
All
you,
right, ladies
Dan.
and
Thank
gentlemen.
you so much.
If you haven't already, please consider inviting somebody you think will benefit from being in proximity with us. Send them that link, reirev.com. It's time to lock up some deals, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get something under contract today. I've got a lot of leads calling me, and my focus is on the business. Let's get to it. Let's get this money, and let's get
Thank
after
you
it.
so much, John, for that chance. Thank you. Thank
Absolutely,
you,
Brandon.
guys.
You take care.
Mhm.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.